I don't know. This is weird. So yesterday, right? Yesterday, I did some filming of I filmed myself for the first time on a camera in a car, like Mark McGowan, the artist taxi driver, who is actually a good friend. Although I haven't seen him for years. He used to come to my pub. There's the thing. In 2008, I think it was. Mark McGowan. Yeah, I'm in a hospital parking. I'm in a hospital car park waiting for my mum to have a acupuncture done in Berwick. That's why I come to Berwick, because it's where my parents live near here. Anyway, yeah, Mark McGowan. He was a regular customer at my pub. That's what pubs do. You meet all kinds of interesting people in pubs. Well, we haven't got any pubs. That's not going to happen. We're not going to meet interesting people again. Anyway, Mark McGowan used to be a regular customer at my pub, and he came to me with a proposal for doing an extraordinary installation, an extraordinary art thing. I'm going to put my glasses on because it is actually a bit bright. And this was in the middle of a rent review that I was having from 2005, where my pub company, Scottish and Newcastle Pub Enterprises, now called Heineken, had decided that they were going to try and increase my rent from 32,000 to... Do you know what? I've lost track of all of this. My rent was 54,000 then. They wanted to increase it to 82,500, and I was told this 6 months before the rent review was due in September 2005, and sort of I'd been rolled over at my 2000 rent review, so I knew this. I knew I was going to be screwed basically, but at the next rent review, and I was fairly well prepared for it, because I kind of knew what was going to happen. I'd done a lot of research into how to defend myself at rent review. You know, this is somebody who runs a pub. Busy pub, kind of knows what they're doing when it comes to making things busy, knows what to do about how to keep on top of stock, what kind of products are needed to get customers in, how to entertain customers, how to look after staff, how to pay people well, how to balance the books and everything like this. But you know what you don't know when you're a publican signing up a lease with a pub company who are called your partner, who call themselves your partner, who advertise themselves as looking for partners to run their pubs. What you don't know when you sign all of that is you're just going to have an interminable battle with a big, faceless, ignorant, stupid, bastard corporation who actively seeks to be putting you out of business. It is totally mind-blowing. No one's prepared for that kind of shit. You know, all this nonsense that goes on in the press and about, I don't know, in the Houses of Commons and on blogs, wherever this stuff is discussed about what's happening with pubs. It's all bollocks. The reality is, you've got thousands of individual people effectively being stuffed by large, faceless, monolithic, leviathan corporations trying to maximise profit out of every unit that they've got on their estate. And they have legal teams. They've got offices full of people who deal with this stuff day in, day out, 365 days a year. And on the other end of these people's activities, you've got thousands of individual tenants running businesses, running around like blue arse flies, working all hours of God sends, and spending their lives being hosts and being focused on providing good service and whatever else is entailed in running a pub. And you know, they have to learn how to be business people as well. Of course, they've got to do all that kind of stuff. They have to understand their responsibilities as an employer, as somebody who's in charge of a building that's got electricity and gas and water in it, and all this kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, they're expected to be lawyers as well, and advocates of the obscure legal stuff that is irrelevant and nonsensical in life. And they have to be surveyors, they have to be building surveyors. And if they don't do all these things themselves at a rent review, they're expected to employ a legal expert to defend them, to represent them at rent. It's insane. Because legal experts cost thousands of pounds anyway. So anyway, lessees are put in this invidious position of fighting their business partner over a rent review that effectively appears to be trying to put them out of business. The pub companies regard these enormous rent rises that they apply for at rent review as just some kind of cut and thrust of normal business. And when you read when you read about this stuff in the press, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, because it's just such an insane situation altogether. When you read about this stuff in the press, people like Simon Townsend from Enterprise talk about tenants entering into a willing relationship with their business partner, the pub company, and at the time of entry, there is every opportunity to stand their ground and negotiate a case that is fair, equal, and open for everybody going in and into the relationship, which is a contract you're signing, a lease. And I suppose legally, intrinsically, there is something that's kind of vaguely accurate about that statement. You have two parties entering into a legal agreement which will stretch ahead for 20 years, and they both have to go into it fully aware of what their obligations are and so on and so forth. And in principle, everything is on the table and can be negotiated at the time of entry into the contract. But in practice, the pub companies lay out their shop window, their shop display, which is the same. Every pub company's shop display is the same. And if a tenant doesn't like it, a potential tenant doesn't like it, they can fuck off. That's their attitude, and which is fine. And of course, they can fuck off, and they go to another pub company with a different pub, and they find exactly the same thing going on there. And so people sign these contracts on the grounds that basically there are thousands of people out there doing it, so it can't be all wrong. And the reality is that it mostly is wrong, and it's putting most of these pubs either out of business or under severe financial pressure. Which is why you see run-down pubs everywhere, because they don't make enough money to actually be able to invest any profit back into their business and into the fabric of their buildings. And you get pubs just in a terribly run-down condition. You get publicans who are depressed, trapped in a business of ever-decreasing reward, and you got pubs selling their pubs off everywhere because they don't make enough profit for the pub company. They don't make any profit for the publican. Right, we're going to stop this now, and I'm going to start again on something else, because I'm learning how to do a blog in it.